Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Nicholas Richardson and this is the news. The European Union will tighten visa rules for Belarusian state officials in retaliation for what it called Minsk's aggressive effort to destabilise the bloc by pushing irregular migrants to the EU's external border, that is, Belarus's border with Poland, Lithuania and Latvia. The European Union accuses President Alexander Lukashenko of orchestrating a sharp rise in migrant arrivals across the Belarus border with bloc members Poland, Lithuania and Latvia. The increase happened after the 27-nation union slapped sanctions on Minsk over human rights abuses and an election widely deemed to have been rigged.
Those who seek to test Europe's unity by instrumentalizing human suffering and migration will be disappointed. Our external borders are European borders and are a common responsibility. And in particular, the latest tactics by the Belarus regime against the EU and our member states require a united response. This is why today, together with Commissioner Johansson, we are proposing to partially suspend our visa facilitation agreement with Belarus. We will not punish the Belarusian people for their government's actions. Instead, the suspension is targeted and will affect government officials and holders of diplomatic passports.
What we see now in Belarus is Lukashenko is desperate. He is really hurt by the economic sanctions and the sanctions that the Europeans have put on him. He is really desperate and he's trying to destabilize the European Union by bringing in migrants and facilitating them and pushing them into the European Union. And he is actually deceiving people to pay a lot of money just to be trapped and tricked. Because when they arrive, first they will stay at a very nice hotel in Minsk and then they'll be facilitated to the border. And then when they are not being let into the European Union, because you can't just go into the European Union, member states have the right and the obligation to protect their external borders for unauthorized entry. Then they've been trapped there, and they're not allowed to go back.
The EU and Belarus enacted a new visa facilitation deal in July last year to ease procedures and reduce costs for Belarusians willing to visit the bloc briefly. But Minsk has since withdrawn from its linked EU readmission agreement, which establishes cooperation on sending away people who stay in the bloc without the formal right to do so. That came as the European Union sanctioned Belarus over a disputed presidential election last August and a crackdown on protests after Lukashenko claimed victory and extended his 26-year-long rule. The Polish Parliament is to decide on the extension of the state of emergency in parts of the Podlaskie and Lubelskie voivodeships. It was introduced on the 2nd of September for 30 days to enable the authorities to stem the migration crisis at the border with Belarus. Only last night, the Polish border guard stopped 473 people trying to cross the border illegally. Following an increase in attacks in recent days, President Andrzej Duda will ask Parliament to extend the state of emergency. This problem on the border still exists, and we still have to do everything to prevent this problem. At this point, it seems that the introduction of the state of emergency for a period of 60 days will be justified. The head of the Ministry of Interior, Mariusz Kamiński, said that almost 31,000 mobile phone users in the border area had received a text warning them against crossing the Polish border illegally. The border guard has detained 115 people who were helping to organise people smuggling. Groups of people camping at Oshna's Górny received uniforms from border guards. These people were dressed in uniforms. We will see whether the Belarusian side will want to organise further aggressive provocations against Poland.
W pierwszym głosowaniu głosowaliśmy przeciwko. Nie sądzę, żeby coś się zmieniło, ale decyzji kolegium jeszcze nie podjęło.
The introduction of a state of emergency is absolutely justified, especially as we are witnessing a hybrid war. Journalist TOMASZ GRZYWACZEWSKI pointed out that the Polish border with Belarus is also the border of the European Union and the Schengen area. This is a border with an aggressive, oppressive regime which tortures and persecutes its citizens, which has been imprisoning representatives of the Polish minority for over 6 months. The state of emergency was declared on the 2nd of September for a period of 30 days. It covered 183 towns in Podlaskie and Lubelskie voivodeships. Another round of Polish-Czech talks about the Turów mine has started at the Ministry of the Environment in the Czech Republic. The talks are chaired by the Ministers of Climate, Michal Kurtyka, and the Environment, Richard Brabec, who on Monday declared that they would accelerate the negotiations. This is the second meeting this week on this issue. The previous one lasted 3 hours. Climate and Environment Minister Michal Kurtyka says he has come to make concrete proposals. In February, the Czech Republic filed a complaint against Poland at the European Court of Justice and requested a so-called provisional measure in order to halt production at the Turów mine. According to the Czech government, the expansion of the Polish mine threatens Liberec residents' access to water. In May, the ECG ordered an immediate halt to coal mining at Turów. However, the Polish government did not agree to close the mine and started negotiations with the Czech Republic. We are still negotiating and want to bring these talks to a successful conclusion. In the wake of the ECJ decision, Gazeta Polska clubs have announced a demonstration near the European Commission representation on Jasna Street in Warsaw under the slogan, "You will not extinguish Poland." The demonstration will start this Friday at 12 noon. This demonstration has 2 messages. The first is solidarity with the inhabitants of the Turów coalfield and the mine workers, and the second is a fight for Polish sovereignty. Trade unionists from the Turów coal mine have also announced their own demonstration, which will take place on the 22nd of October in Luxembourg. What the judge from the ECJ has done is a scandal. She has sentenced the inhabitants of Bogatynia to death. In turn, representatives of the PGE group, to which Turów belongs, pointed out that there are also other mines in the area, but only the Polish one has been referred to the ECJ. The European Court of Justice decided on the 20th of September to impose a fine of €500,000 a day on Poland until coal production at the Turów mine is stopped. As government spokesman Piotr Muller announced on Tuesday, Poland has not started paying the fine. The verdict in this case was issued by Spanish Judge Rosario Silva de la Puerta. Last week, the Ministry of Justice recommended to the Ministry for the European Union Affairs that de la Puerta be excluded from her judge's position because of her past ties to a Spanish party belonging to the European People's Party. The 482nd Club of Gazeta Polska was established in Rome, which, like many others operating outside our country and on 3 continents, brings together the patriotic Polish diaspora. The delegation from the Gazeta Polska clubs in Rome knelt before the grave of Pope St. John Paul II to pray for the soul of the late Jerzy Targalski. The purpose of the visit was to inaugurate the first Polish newspaper club in Italy. On this occasion, a concert was organised in the Basilica of San Pancrazio in Rome. The star of the evening was soprano Dominika ZAMARA, who had initiated the club. We have taken this initiative with great commitment. Together with NOWAK, we want to unite Poles in Rome and promote patriotic and Christian values, as well as Polish culture and art. Miss Dominika found a group of Poles willing to start a club. Yesterday these people met and we started our cooperation with a great concert. First, an Ave Maria for Jurek Targalski, because yesterday was his funeral. Aleksander Nowak became the president of the new club. We want to invite those Poles who share our values to the Polish newspaper club, those for whom the words God, honour and homeland are still important. The inauguration of the Gazeta Polska club was attended among others by the consul of the Polish embassy in Rome, editor-in-chief of the Polish newspaper TOMASZ SAKIEWICZ, and journalists for years associated with Gazeta Polska, Katarzyna Gojska, Ewa Wojciech and Adrian Stankowski. During yesterday's ceremony, TOMASZ SAKIEWICZ received a distinction from the association Poland at Heart, which initiated the establishment of the club for outstanding achievements for Polish values, patriotism and reliable journalism. That's the news. Thank you for watching. Stay with us for the weather, Poland Daily Business and more programmes. But from me, it's have a good night and a better tomorrow.